Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for February 16th, 2014. It's currently 8:48 a.m. Let's look at another snow event that has moved through the region, and for the most part the forecast was alright. There were some locations like in Connecticut, Western Connecticut, where I was expecting 3 to 6 inches of snow. We only got around 2 inches, and the reason why is because the snow was so heavy over portions of Long Island and eastern Connecticut that it suppressed the snowfall development over western Connecticut and the Hudson River Valley to basically around 2 inches of snow. The jackpot area, not counting Connecticut or eastern Connecticut, was actually in northeastern Pennsylvania, where they had about 3 to 6 inches of snow, and around 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches, basically around the New York City metropolitan area and northern portions of the Philadelphia metropolitan area, and then southern New Jersey, as expected, missed out with a trace to an inch of snow. Do we have more of this on the way? Unfortunately, we do, but it's not going to be that bad. This is not a major storm on the way for Tuesday. It's more of a pain in the neck and the arrival of warm air. That's right, warm air. By the time we get to the end of this coming week, we'll be saying goodbye snow. Boy, that would be nice, because I have no place else to shovel this stuff. So let's take a look at the latest observations. Okay, so it's currently very cold out. Temperatures are in the lower to mid-teens over the interior, upper teens to lower 20s over the New York City metropolitan area, and the Philadelphia metropolitan area basically in the lower to mid-20s. It's basically cold out there, and to boot, it's also windy, with winds around from the northwest at around 10 to 15 miles per hour, making for a nice wind chill in the lower teens. Yeah, it's cold, but don't worry, it's going to warm up. And if you're as fatigued as I am about this cold weather and the storms, even though I forecasted it, which is nice to say, hey, you forecasted it, you were right back in October, still, enough is enough, right? So we get a break today. It's a cold day, but at least it's not snowing out. On the IntelliCast radar, you can see we pretty much are high and dry. We have a clipper that is approaching the region that is moisture starved and weakening, so I really don't expect much from it. And there's our other storm departing out into the Canadian Maritimes. On the infrared satellite picture, you can see high pressure is in control for the most part. Here comes our clipper. This is not going to produce much in the way of precipitation, not really a big concern. Our next storm, we can see on the water vapor satellite picture, is brewing right here. Now, what's going to happen is that the pattern is changing. Okay, it's changing to a warmer pattern. So this disturbance gets out of the way. We have a nice trough here. But what happens is that the trough lifts out, and this storm track basically rides along that trough lifting out. So it basically moves through the Ohio River Valley and then towards the Hudson River Valley. Now, that type of track basically means that central and southern New Jersey misses out with maybe a trace of snow, maybe an inch at most. That's about it, because your snow is changing over to rain. Might get a little icy there on Tuesday morning. We'll have to watch that. But I don't think this is going to be a major event there. For the New York City metropolitan area, maybe about 1 to 3 inches. And I'm saying maybe because I'm looking at this data here, and of course the Canadian's the most aggressive. The European, I think, is the most reasonable in this type of pattern here, where you get the bulk of your snow basically over Connecticut, the Hudson River Valley, and northeastern Pennsylvania. You're looking at around a 3 to 6 inch snowfall. So the way I'm seeing this, and I'll put a map out this afternoon after I take a look at some of the 12Z model guidance, is basically 3 to 6 inch snowfall over the interior, 1 to 3 over the New York City metropolitan area, mostly 1 inch for most locations, and then a trace to an inch from central New Jersey down through southeastern Pennsylvania. And of course Cape May, not much of anything. And then Tuesday afternoon, and this is crucial here, we warm up into the 40s. So, you know, this snow is going to come, and then it's going to melt relatively quickly because it's a very wet snow. And then temperatures are going to be about 10 degrees above freezing. So that's going to definitely help in melting a lot of that snow as well. So let's take a look at the European model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website, an excellent website for model guidance. Here we are for this evening. High pressure's in control again. Temperatures rebounding very, very nicely. Well, okay, we're still below normal by about 6 degrees or so, but we're in the lower to mid 30s, which isn't too bad compared to the teens. Now, for Monday, most of us are off. It's going to be a nice day. High pressure in control, clear skies. Temperatures ranging from the single digits to lower teens for lows and upper 20s to lower 30s for highs. So as long as you have your heavy jacket, everything's fine. Now, here's that disturbance. Now, notice where we start out. Here we are right now. You can see we have a nice ridge and trough. We have storms. It's been nasty out. Here we are today. We still have that trough. Now, here we are ahead of our next storm on Monday night. And you can see here's our disturbance moving through, but clearly we have more of a zonal pattern. So what's happening here is that this whole pattern is lifting out and kind of reorganizing, reloading. It's going to reload to a slightly different pattern than what we've been seeing, and that's important. And as it's doing that reload, we are going to get basically flooded with Pacific air. So that's basically what this is. This disturbance is the leading edge here of Pacific air that is going to run through the entire country. But in order to get that Pacific air into the region, you have to get rid of this cold air. So, as a result, what you have here is this little disturbance that is riding the wave of this trough exiting. So here we have our low pressure system here on Monday night. By the time we get to Tuesday, that low pressure system is collapsing because the wavelengths on the 500 millibar pattern are basically mining out. So this low is weakening as it's approaching. So the precipitation shield as it's approaching from the Ohio River Valley is actually going to be weakening. And don't be surprised to see it kind of breaking up a bit as it's moving through the region on Tuesday morning. So again, I like the idea of a trace to an inch, if that, over the Philadelphia metro, almost nothing over southern New Jersey, and 1 to 3 inches around the New York City metropolitan area. Those 3 inches likely going to be to the north of the city, and then 3 to 6 inches over portions of Connecticut, the Hudson River Valley, in northeastern Pennsylvania. This is going to be a very wet snow. It's going to be the type of snow that once the temperatures go above freezing, it's going to basically be rain. So once that happens, by the time we get to the afternoon hours, because that Pacific air is feeding into the region, temperatures are going to rebound very nicely. So we're going to start out with the upper teens to lower 20s for lows, and then we're going to push into the upper 30s to lower 40s over the northern interior, and lower to mid 40s along the coast. So you could definitely see how a lot of that snow is going to melt off very nicely. Then we have pretty much high pressure and control for Wednesday and Thursday. Very nice weather. How nice? Well, temperatures are finally going to be a bit above freezing. We're going to be dry. We have temperatures in the upper 20s to lower 30s for lows, mid to upper 40s for highs. Very nice. Now, then we get to Friday. We have a weak cold front that moves through in the early morning hours, followed by warm conditions once again. Temperatures in the upper 20s to lower 30s for lows, and lower to mid 40s for highs. Now we get another cold front that's going to move through on Saturday. Now this cold front is going to pack a little bit more of a punch with some rainfall. Temperatures on Saturday right now look for the upper 20s to lower 30s for lows and lower to mid 40s for highs. Ahead of these cold fronts, if the timing is just right, temperatures could push into the lower to mid 50s for highs on Friday and Saturday if these cold fronts are just slightly slower, with a nice southwesterly wind and the rain holds off until, let's say, the evening hours. Then you have your temperatures spike up into the lower to mid 50s. Right now the timing's a bit off, but we'll have to watch that. It could actually be in the 50s by this upcoming weekend if the timing of these cold fronts are just a little bit slower. So that's a little bit of good news. At the very least, by the end of the week, we'll be near to slightly above normal in temperatures and allow a lot of this snow, which is a very high water content type of snow, to melt off very quickly. So that's your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.